Hey guys, it's Chala from Crafting Through the Chaos of Life. Thanks so much for joining me for another video. Today we are going to make some window journal cards. And this is inspired by actually a video that I saw on Camilla Craft Designs. And I think she got them from Cheryl Wilm, I believe. So I just thought this would be fun to kind of make. And I did a little different take on them. Let's step you through what we did and what we're going to do here today. Okay. So I have this fun little journal card. It's got this fun acetate window with a butterfly, this fun bulb pin with a charm on it. You turn it over and there is journaling space on the back. So pretty cute and simple, I think. Now, I deviated in terms of my window because I don't have any elements that would be small enough to fit in my little circle punch here. So I decided to go with my 2-inch oval and make that. So the way that Julie had made hers was she had the little circle here. So she just kind of put it in here in the corner and had a tiny little butterfly or element there. I don't have any that are small enough, so I decided to go in the middle with my oval. You can use a square one as well, whatever works. Just look at the supplies that you have and see how you can alter this to fit your needs. Yeah, and so that's just kind of what we're going to make today. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So what we're going to need is a piece of scrapbook paper. You do kind of want the thicker stuff, not as thick as the Tim Holtz stuff. I mean, you can use the Tim Holtz stuff too, that's fine. But if you want to keep your bulk low, you want the kind of mid-weight scrapbooking paper. Okay, so I've got some over here that I'm going to grab that I thought would also be fun. And you don't have to just use butterflies. You can use flowers or ladybugs or what have you in your little circle window there. You can use whatever you want. I thought the butterfly looked super cute on here, and I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing for this one, use a butterfly that I have. So let's set this one aside, maybe put it over here for our inspiration. So what we want to do is cut this down, and I first am going to cut off my branding strip, and I will throw that in my little stash of items. I'll show you what I have. So just cut that off. So I have this fun long box that I got at the dollar store. I'm sorry I can't fit it all in screen, but it works perfectly for housing my 12 by 12 little strips that I cut off. So as you can see, any long strips that I cut down or that I have, I throw in this box, and then I'm going to go ahead and use them for little clusters and snippets and what have you. I use them for embellishments on journaling cards. It's just a good way to store my little strip scraps. Okay, get that put away. Okay, so we have directional paper here. So you want your length on your horizontal because you're going to be folding it in half. So my directional paper is going to go up and down. For my first cut, it's going to be at 6 inches. Again, if you have 6-inch pages or scrapbook pages, this will work perfect for those. So we're going to cut it at 6 inches. Just make sure I'm right on that 6-inch mark. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. I'm going to set this one aside, and then we're going to cut it at 4 inches. Okay, so I'm going to go this way and cut it at 4. So that's a 6 by 4 piece of paper that we're going to be using. Again, these are super fun and fast to make. That they would be great scrap busters. They would be great mass makes. Yeah, so they're just super fun and easy to make. Now I'm looking for my score board. There it is. Okay, so for this, we want to score it at 3 inches because we're going to be folding it in half, right? So score it at 3. Fold it over. and we'll burnish that down. Okay, so we have like a little card essentially. The next thing that we want to do is pull out the punch that we're going to be using. Again, I'm using my 2-inch oval, and I'm going to open it up. And so on the front of the page, I'm going to kind of line it up center. That's my goal, is always to do it in the center. Doesn't always work out that way. But I want to be at the top third of this card. I mean, you can put it in the middle too if you want. That's just fine. I just like the look of it when it's kind of slightly more to the top of the card or the page. So I think that is about center. Pray for me as I try and punch it without moving. This is the hardest part of the whole thing, guys, is getting your circle somewhat straight. Because it's an oval, it'll be more noticeable if I don't have it directly centered. Okay, that's all right. I don't mind that. Just a little higher to the top this time, but that's fine. And I'm going to save this piece, and I'm going to use it for snippet rolls, embellishments, that sort of thing. So go ahead and keep those pieces for, for more embellishing. Okay. So now that we have that, we are also going to need a piece of acetate. So I've cut down my acetate already, because when I cut this one, I cut the second one. And this measures, because I have a 2-inch oval, I've cut this at 2 1/4 by 2 inches. Okay, so it's 2 1/4 inches this way by 2 for my punch. So you're basically just going to want to measure the opening that you have and add about 1/4 of an inch on each side, and that'll give you the size that you need for your acetate piece. Okay, so you can use score tape, you can use a dry adhesive. I'm going to use art glitter glue. Again, you just want to be careful that you're not squishing your glue out into your little window area. So I like to just go ahead and put a small amount on the edge. Again, it's going to be sandwiched in between the 2 pages, so it shouldn't go anywhere. Then I'll lay this down very carefully. And then what I like to do is I very carefully rub to the outside. I never rub to the inside because I don't want the glue to go in that way. So I'm going to very carefully rub to the outside so it pushes it more to the outside. If it's going to squish out, it's going to squish out on the outside of the acetate as opposed to your window. Okay, so I've got that down. Now the next thing that we want is our butterfly. Now you can do this 2 ways. You can adhere it directly onto the acetate on the outside. However, I like it better on the inside. And you know what? I'm not sure I'm really in love with this butterfly that I chose. It's not bad, but I don't know if I'm in love with it. Let's see if we have something else. Let's grab my box of butterflies. Again, I get all my containers at the dollar store. I just think that's the best way to go, because obviously you need a lot of containers for all your stuff, and it can get pricey. So yeah, I recommend checking out your local dollar store. Let's see if this one, yeah, I think I like that one better. Okay, that was an easy find. So I have my little containers and categories. This one's my butterfly one, so I put all my butterflies in there. Okay, so now we need our pokey tool. And these are just the vellum stickers. You can print butterflies out on vellum too. I think that would look pretty, or just regular paper. If you are using double-sided paper, which Julie did on her, she used Tim Holtz paper, just be aware that you're going to have whatever image is on the double side of your paper, it's going to show through. So I really quite like using the one-sided paper for this. I just think it shows it off better. And I did it again. I forgot to ink my little opening before I put the acetate on. So if you want to ink, go ahead and do that before you put the acetate on. The good thing is if you do forget, like I did, you can just go in and put some ink on there, and then just take, I think I have here, yeah, I've got just a little dry wet wipe, and just buff that ink right off of there. It comes right off. Okay? So next is to try and get the adhesive off of, or get the backing off of these vellum stickers, excuse me, which can be quite the trick in itself. There, I like to use my pokey tool to help separate those two pieces. And I have to throw this away right away or it gets lost. I can't see it, and then I find a whole bunch of them laying around later. So I'm going to make sure that that gets in my garbage right away. Okay. So what I like to do for these, again, you can put it directly onto the acetate if you like. I like to do it this way. I open up the card like this, and I'm going to lay down, this can get a little bit tricky, lay down the butterfly. Make sure there's no fold overs. Get them where I want it. And then I'm simply just going to close this up on the butterfly. Press it down, and voila, we have our butterfly on the back of our card. Now we just have to add some glue on the edges just to close the card up. And because I'm going to be cutting off the corner, I do want to kind of come down a little bit on my corners just to make sure that it is going to adhere. Let's put our pin back in our art glitter glue right away so that we don't have any mishaps with it not coming out. And then just fold this over. And got a little bit of glue kind of squishing out, that's okay. There we go. So this is where you can leave it. You can leave it like this, but we're going to take it up a step further, and we're going to add some little fun corner details. And to do that, I have this really tiny Recollections circle punch. You can also use your regular size or your 1-inch one. You're just going to obviously take off just a little bit, but I have this little itty bitty guy that I like to use. And I'm going to go ahead and just nip off the corners. And I'm just kind of lining up the point to the top of the cutting circle just so I have kind of generally the same size on each corner. Just kind of find that's a little easier to measure, or find a place to kind of measure so that it's somewhat the same. Okay, get rid of those little scraps. All right, now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and bring in our inking tool if you like to ink. What you can also do is you can cover the back with coffee dyed paper first and cover the whole entire thing and then cut them out, but I like to just have a little piece of paper on there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and ink up our edges. I hope everyone's having a great day. If you are just stumbling across this post for the first time or this channel for the first time, thanks so much for coming by. Check out my other videos that I have. Don't forget to subscribe to be entered to win the 500 subscriber journal contest. I'm getting there. I just need about 100 and some more, guys, so tell your friends. All right, so there we go. We've got that. Actually, I do want to also ink the other side too, because we're going to see that. So let me go ahead and do that really quick like. All right, that just gives it a little bit more dimension and vintage look. Super. Okay, so that guy is almost done. So now we're going to put in our eyelet, our little eyelet here for our bulb pin. So I'm going to bring out my, I don't know what this is called. Is this a crocodile? Something like that? I don't know what it's called. Oh, I didn't even know it had these things on it. Anyways, yeah, so I use this little hole punch thingy, and it's got a couple different settings for it. So I'm going to put it on the smallest hole. That's it there. And you can decide wherever you want your bulb pin. So this one I put a little lower on the left. I think this one I'm going to go about here, kind of center it in that notch. Hopefully you can see that in my on screen. So I'm going to put it about there. So let's see if I can kind of line that up. It's a little tricky. I got to kind of get down and at eye level for it, but let's try punching it right there. Okay. Well, not really center, but that's okay. Close enough. So now I'm going to grab just a tiny little eyelet. And they're so tiny I had to gather them out beforehand, otherwise I'd be forever trying to dig through my little eyelet thing. And then now I just changed the setting for the different size of eyelets. So I'm using the smallest eyelet that I have, so I'm going to use the smallest eyelet setting. And just kind of line this up. And we just pray that we don't get a dud eyelet and that it sets properly. We just push it down. And super, looks good. All right, so we can set that aside. And for your charm, you can use anything you like. This one says strength on it. This one says love. So just going to put the charm right on this bulb pin here so I don't lose it. And I'm just going to set it here to the side for a minute because we want to put on our backing paper. So that you can write on this. I mean, if you had a dark enough marker, you could write on the back just like this, but I do want to add some paper to it. So let's grab our coffee dyed paper, and we're going to measure this. So this is about 3 inches wide. So I'm going to do my size of paper at 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So let's grab this here. This is just some coffee dyed paper that I did. So 3 3/4. Right there. By 2 3/4. And we got a little extra piece for something else. And then bring this piece back. Let's see, I didn't measure it right. I should have actually put this on before I did the eyelet so that the eyelet could go through the paper. But that's okay. No harm, no foul. I think what we'll do is I need to obviously cut this down. I didn't measure that right. You can do these any size too, it doesn't matter. Let's cut this down to about 2 1/2. No, 3 3/4, 3. Let's do 3 1/2. Let's try 3 1/2. Save that for something. Let's see if that fits a little better. Okay, that's better. Let's take it down another 1/4 inch. 3 1/2. So again, yeah, whatever size yours is, you're gonna want to match your backing up to it. That's good. And I think, just for fun, I want to do these as well. You can change it up to how you like it. I think maybe adding the detailed corners on this paper would look good as well. And maybe we'll give it a little bit of ink on the edges, just to help it stand out just a wee bit more. Okay. Let's see. I think that'll look fine. So we're going to go ahead and grab a glue page. And I guess we can decide whether we want the lighter side or the darker side. This one I did the darker side. Maybe I'll try the lighter side on this one. I tell you, that coffee dyeing paper is an art. Baking paper. I usually do about 20 sheets at a time, and it's a bit of a process. Okay, we'll just line this up as best as we can. This is the tricky part for me. I don't always see straight. So sometimes things are a bit wonky. That's fine, it means it's handmade. So I just realized I inked up the edges on the other side. That's okay. Just make sure you ink up the right side of your page that you're gonna do. Boy, oh boy. See, this is what happens when I craft after I've been at the office all day. My brain doesn't work as well. Okay, so now the last thing that we have to do is put on our little charm. And we'll go ahead and add that. Stick that on there. Come on. And we'll just flip it around, and there we go. We have a fun little journal card with a window in it. Journaling space on the back, little charm that says love. And this one says strength. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. You'll also get entered into being one of my 500 subscribers. So what you want to do is to win the journal for my giveaway is you want to subscribe, obviously, and then go to the journal. It'll be linked at the end of this video, and make sure you leave a comment on the flip through of the owl journal that I'm giving away. That's all you have to do. Just subscribe and comment on that journal giveaway video, which again I'll link at the end of this video. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I wish you the best for the rest of the week if I don't get to see you again, and we'll catch you on the next video. And P.S. I love you. Hey guys, if you'd like to participate in my snail mail swap where we exchange fun craft supplies with each other, go ahead, take my address down and send me a note. I can't wait to see what you send me, and I can't wait to send you a package in return. Thanks so much, guys, and P.S. I love you.